What do you do?
Retirement planning.
Hey guys, Society Reviews here, my review of the film The Killer's Game. There's been this prevailing narrative over the last few years that Dave Bautista is the best wrestler turned actor in the history of Hollywood. Better than Roddy Piper, better than Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. One would ask those making that claim how many movies they have seen featuring a pro wrestler before Guardians of the Galaxy. Thanks to this Kool-Aid drinking narrative, there is a large push within Hollywood to make Dave Bautista a legitimate actor under the guise that he has the capability of displaying what the industry calls range. It's no secret that Dave Bautista had a lot of help from the industry from guys such as James Gunn to propel him to this point in his career. But the important question has not been asked or answered. Is Dave Bautista a box office draw? He has been in some big time movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers, and Doom, but can the former WWE champion draw an audience to watch a film centered around him? Bautista has yet to prove that he is a big box office draw like The Rock, and after watching his latest film, The Killer's Game, it's hard to claim that Bautista is a better action star than The Rock as well. The Killer's Game is a story about a skilled hitman named Joe Flood, played by Bautista. Flood is one of the most skilled in his profession, being able to mix brutality and stealth for a guy his size. After completing a job, he meets a woman named Maze who he falls in love with. But after weeks of suffering from sudden headaches and loss of vision, he goes to a doctor to find out that he has a progressive brain disease, which has left him with a few months left to live. Not wanting to expose his lover to his true profession, Joe gets the idea to arrange his own assassination to go out with honor and dignity. Unfortunately for Joe, the second that the clock strikes midnight, he's told by his doctor that he's not dying, but it's far too late for him to cancel his contract. Joe must figure out a way to prevent the world's best assassins from killing him and ending his one true chance of finding love in the face of his most dangerous profession. For a film like The Killer's Game, a premise like this goes as far as the characters will take it. At this point, we have seen the assassin hitman genre done to death with the popularity of the John Wick movies over the last decade. In 2024, it's difficult to do an assassin-based movie and not feel like a watered-down, distilled version of what we've already seen many times before. The Killer's Game takes quite a while to get the story going, as audiences already know the premise going in. The pacing issues in this movie is glaring for a film that only has an hour and 40 minutes of runtime. The film could have cut at least 20 to 25 minutes worth of filler to keep the pace and the tempo fast, which is something that the movie is severely lacking. It's safe to say that Hollywood doesn't trust Dave Bautista to run his own movie because the 2024 film My Spy: The Eternal City was relegated to Amazon Prime for its theatrical release from a few years ago. In this movie, Bautista has several familiar faces to help him across the finish line, such as Terry Crews, Ben Kingsley, Sofia Boutella, and Palm Clementia. On paper, the premise of this movie is too contrived and has way too many moving pieces to be coherent. The formula that the film seeks is introducing an assassin who has some kind of over-the-top personality trait and then watching him die about 2 scenes later. The downfall of this movie is the inexperience across the board, both behind and in front of the camera. J.J. Perry is the director here, whose only other directing credit was a Netflix film Day Shift from a couple years ago. The 2 writers associated with this movie don't have much more experience than him. Combine that with the fact that Dave Bautista, despite multiple chances, is not experienced enough to lead his own film. The assistance that Dave gets in this movie is from Ben Kingsley, whose presence is minimal in the film, Palm, who enjoys not having to wear antennas on her head, Sophia, who is coming off of the massive flop of Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon series on Netflix, and Terry Crews is the only one who brings any true personality to the film, but is not enough to salvage it. Despite being an action comedy, the action is watered down thanks to a done-to-death genre, and genuine laughs are few and far between. All in all, the biggest flaw with The Killer's Game is that the movie is in desperate need of an editor. The Killer's Game is a movie that doesn't have enough style or substance to hold its own weight. I give this film a 2 out of 5.
Do you think I killed him?
I hope so. Ain't no money worth this shit.